Hello and welcome to I'm Thinking with me, Noemi. This is another bonus episode because I am on Laura's shit. I wanted to watch that new James Charles video of him cursing out some random lady for like wanting a little bit of help during one of the most mind-boggling and nerve-crashing times in your life, which could be literally losing your job and any sense of stability. Um, I I'm just going to reiterate what everyone has been saying. I don't like James Charles. I think he genuinely is a self-absorbed person aside from the weird stuff that he likes to do with children, allegedly in my opinion. It's so When the first allegations started to come out back when I was in high school, so think about it, it was like 6 years ago. Well, it was my first introduction to how the influencer scene or the celebrity scene is so incredibly dark and a little bit disgusting. So his allegations were my first introduction to how people can genuinely take advantage of their positions of power and try to do something with people who don't really have that power. The fact that this has been a reoccurring theme in his career troubles me so much, mainly because even though this has been exposed or showcased and alleged against him, he doesn't change the way that he does things because there hasn't really been any sort of like repercussion. Let's be real. There hasn't, to my understanding, to my knowledge, there hasn't been any like actual police investigation or even legal action taken against him. And I have another like new allegation. I think it's new. We're gonna watch it because I don't follow that guy. And there was one time where he popped up into my TikTok For You page, and I genuinely got jump scared. I was disgusted. I was confused as to why my algorithm decided to do any of that when I don't even engage in content that would align with his content, if you know what I mean. So yes, let's get into it. Let's watch this is from Reddit, specifically the ALA influencer snark Reddit, and let's watch it. Let's see it. Let's analyze it. And
I just got a DM on here from a girl that said, "Good morning, James. I know you'll probably never see this, but if you could just take 1 minute to read it, would really mean a lot to me. I'm really struggling right now because Spirit Airlines just filed for bankruptcy and I have lost my job. Here's a GoFundMe link. Any donations help."
why are you laughing like that? Why are you laughing like that? You could have sent her like $20. You're a millionaire, bro. You own your own company, no? Like he has his own makeup company currently. I don't understand what's the issue. You could have you could have been like, hey, I don't have a lot right now. You could lie, maybe, hypothetically. You could say, hey, I know it's not much. This is what I got right now. $100. I don't know. And then share that link to your social media. Like, is that really a big of an issue? Is that a little too crazy, too insane, too woo?
I'm sure they do, sweetheart. I'm sure they do. You know what else would help you? Getting another job. Yeah, try that. Because in the time that it took you.
Oh my God, girlie, I didn't know that. In the 10 seconds, maybe like 10, I don't know, 5 minutes that it took me to draft up that text and then DM it to you, as well as creating that GoFundMe page. You think I could have gotten a job in that freaking time frame? Literally, the whole bankruptcy thing of Spirit Airlines happened practically all on the same day. They filed for bankruptcy, and then out of nowhere on May, I believe it was like May 2nd or 3rd, that they literally just like seized all the operations without notice. Like, it truly does baffle me how this man, adults, doesn't even bother to read a newspaper, no offense, and see how fucked up the employment market is at this moment. Like, I'm in business school, okay? I'm studying marketing, and I could ask one person, ask them how they're doing with their whole like trying to get internships, trying to get a job. They literally tell me it's so freaking hard right now. The market is incredibly bad at the moment. And that's not even accounting the whole AI thing taking people's jobs. I'm just saying. It's so stupid, and like I do understand that there is this like lack of understanding from a lot of people because they have never had to like truly go out there and get a job, or even suddenly lost her job because trust, it did happen to me and my husband. Like, suddenly one of his employers, because they had to close his job place, and we were left with literally just needing to look for a replacement. And it was one of the most nerve wrenching things I have ever gone through. The idea of not having a job, of not having stability, of not having a stable income coming into our house, and us having to pay rent, having to pay utilities, having to literally raise a child, having to pay my school, was some of the most. I was losing it. I was like, oh my God, if we don't find something, I'm gonna have to go out and I have to get a job. Wait.
To copy and paste the same fuck-ass message to myself, who you don't follow, by the way, and probably 100 other influencers and celebrities. You could have applied for 100.
Baby girl, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. It really, 100 other jobs. Okay, yeah, she could have applied. She very well could have actually been doing that while copy and pasting the same message. But applying is one thing. Actually going through the interview process and being qualified for the job, and qualified for a job that's actually going to pay you well for the job that you're going to be doing, is so hard.
Other jobs, but you didn't because you're a lazy piece of shit and you're entitled. And you think that influencers and celebrities should fund your life for you. Why would I ever help you? You're not a fan. You don't even follow me. You've never supported me. This is your first time DMing. And you think that I'm going to send you money because you lost your job? Oh my God. Welcome to the real world, sweetheart. People lose their jobs every fucking day, and you're white, pretty, and able-bodied. You're in a much better position than a lot.
He thought he ate with that. I bet you he thought he ate. So, like, oh, yeah, 1000%. I do understand where this whole entire message is coming from, but at the end of the day, it's a problem that a company can even seize their operations and not give their employees any time to get their shit together and be able to have a cushion before literally taking their job away. Like, is that a little bit too crazy to agree with? You saying, "Oh yeah, you're not entitled to anything." 1000%. Not everybody is entitled to anything, but we should be entitled to some sort of safety. Jobs provide safety. Why would you take someone's safety away out of like, in a blink of an eye?
A lot of other people out here who are trying clearly much harder to make a better life for themselves. Why would I fucking help you? Aside from that, 17,000 people lost their jobs at Spirit Airlines. Why do you think you need the GoFundMe? I can at least like 1% respect the mentality of closed mouths don't get fed, doesn't hurt to try. But honestly, it does hurt to try because now you pissed me off. Okay, I'm not the one. Go find fucking Mr. Reese. This is literally his entire shtick. I'm sure the next YouTube video is literally going to be like, I rehired all 17,000 of the Spirit Airlines employees, and it's going to be the real life Hunger Games. The last one of them to leave the Spirit Airlines plane gets to be the CEO of the new company and gets a house and a car and $10 million that everybody else dies. Like, go find that video to compete in, baby. I'm not helping you. I'm not fucking helping you. All you did was lost your job.
You see, these talking points speak to the bootlicking of capitalism. And if we really want to get nitty gritty with that, I'm not the one. Even the whole point of like relating it back to Mr. Beast and how he does take advantage of people for wanting to better their lives and puts them in very risky and uncomfortable situations, allegedly. Yeah, yeah, it's not sitting right with my spirit. I don't really like that. Um, it makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel like I am being belittled, even though you're not even speaking to me, you're speaking to this random person that DM'd you, because I have been in a position where like suddenly we're at a loss of income and we have to find ways to literally get back into the grind. And again, I will tell you, it's not easy. In any industry, it is not easy. It takes so much time. And unfortunately, I bet you a lot of people don't have well, aside from financial literacy, I do believe that a lot of people don't have the finances to have some sort of savings earned and be able to survive at least 1 month without losing your job. And that's because everybody believes, no hate, but I also fall into it, um, that homelessness is so far away that you can never fall into a pit where you can literally lose everything in the blink of an eye. But everybody is one step away from becoming homeless, and that is such a scary reality that not a lot of people want to truly assimilate. And that's where shit gets really scary because this mentality of like, these companies give a fuck about me and my job is what puts, unfortunately, in my opinion, a lot of people in harm's way from not having a safety net in place before any sudden changes in employment. And the whole Spirit Airlines thing generally freaking breaks my heart, which by the way, I will try to find the link to the GoFundMe um of the Spirit Airlines workers that are trying to get back on their feet. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay, welcome to the real world. I can at least understand if you were like, James, I'm a longtime fan. Here's a trillion years of DMs and my support for you. I love you. I'm suffering with a really rare genetic disease.
Oh, so people have to literally be dying for you to give a damn. Interesting. At least that's what I'm getting from this. You know, a rare genetic disease that there's no cure for, as well as they have to be a fan and, you know, be a loud supporter so that you can give a damn about them and their existence? Question mark.
That there is no cure for, and I'm trying to raise money for myself and other people that have this. Maybe I would help. Maybe I would help because I love you
Maybe.
and I appreciate
Maybe.
you. This bitch, you lost your fucking job? Oh. What are we gonna do? Nothing! I'm gonna do nothing. You know what you need to do? Go find a fucking new one, girl. Put some effort into the workplace. Ah!
I bet you thought you ate that, sis. Oh, dear Jesus. Um, Again, it's so mind-boggling that this man will literally go out of his way to try and definitely paint himself like he is the good guy in this situation because he's not gonna be giving free money to people that are trying to freeload from him in his fame. It's so, oh, it's icky to me. It's icky. Just to reiterate, it feels so belittling to have this random man kind of like cuss this girl out for absolutely no reason other than that she's literally desperate and trying to find some sort of help. It's just that. I mean, I'm not a true believer of like pulling yourself up for your bootstraps. I think it's kind of very unfair to a lot of people that don't have the resources from their peers or their family even to try to begin to start from scratch. You know, to like truly pull yourself up from your bootstraps, you have to go through the most disgusting things you could possibly go through. And a lot of the times it's so heartbreaking. And I'm telling you this because I've seen it. I've seen it. And it's hard too. I'm also kind of living through it. I mean, again, I'm gonna tell you, the way that the market has been handling itself, the job economy and everything like that, it's very heartbreaking to see somebody who got lucky with fame and was able to get the opportunities that not a lot of beauty influencers received during the time that he was coming up, and he became like the first male cover girl, which at the age of like 17, if I remember correctly. And he got famous based on his Twitter post about him wearing makeup for his high school graduation picture, if I'm remembering that correctly. And that was it. That was how he gained fame. That's how he gained popularity. I'm not saying, anything, you got lucky. Thanks be to God that you got recognized for talent or whatever. But you got lucky. You got recognized by people who thought that you were interesting enough that they could capitalize off themselves. Let's be real. That's how all these sort of business things work. Two people, entities meet together and collaborate because they think that it can mutually, benefit. It's nothing bad. Again, it's nothing bad, but you can't sit here and tell somebody to like, they lost their job one day and all of a sudden they're going to get another job the next day. If it were like that, so many people would be able to afford to live. It's titled New Screen Recording of James Charles DMing a Minor for an Extended Period of Time Despite Knowing He Was Underage. Again, for legality, for legal purposes, these are all alleged. I do not know if this is real. I'm not saying this is real. I am just reacting to something I saw on the internet and I want to share my comments. This may not be real and I do not know if it's real. Okay. I just need to cover my bases. I do not want to get in any legal trouble. I cannot afford it.
I'm sure they do, sweetheart. I'm sure they do. You know what else would help you? Getting another job.
Hi, James. So, since you think it's so funny that someone lost their job, I have decided to share some screenshots of you that will hopefully make you lose yours. Now, to be fair to James Charles, I know, but bear with me. That woman reaching out to him did make a huge mistake. The mistake being, she's not a 16-year-old boy. Because if she was, I'm sure James would have been thrilled to help her. So, as many of you already know, James Charles is a self-admitted child predator, but I don't think anyone has ever seen evidence as damning as this. So, as you can see in these DMs that have never been released to the public before, James Charles explicitly asks this child, "How old are you?" The child says, 16, don't be mad. James then says, "Still illegal, laugh my ass off." And then they continue
Okay, I'm a little bit scared. I'm a little scared because again, in this age of an artificial intelligence, I don't know how viable these screenshots really are. As well as it breaks my heart that the poor kid was like 16. Don't be mad. Like, y'all are not getting the ick from that? Am I the only one?
Have an extended conversation, exchanging images with one another for several months afterward. It goes on and on and on. And the victim involved with this, who is going to remain anonymous because they want to move on with their life at this point, has told me that they were exchanging inappropriate images, but
Dear.
are we surprised? And as if the Instagram DMs were not bad enough, the conversation then moved along to Snapchat, where James used his new house and his money to attempt to entice the child into engaging in a relationship with him. The reason why I decided to share this with you guys today is not because it's the anniversary of Bye Sister, which is actually a complete coincidence. It's because I need you guys to understand who this creature is. This is someone who genuinely believed that millions of people would cheer him on as he publicly stomped on a woman's throat at the lowest moment of her life. The deranged entitlement required to sit in a self-branded bathrobe inside your mansion, paid for by young children when you victimize them and take advantage of them, to belittle this person who just lost her job is truly sickening. And I wanted to move on with my life, but I do think I'm going to continue to expose all of the receipts I have about James Charles because it is extensive. I have a library in my phone. And then he had the audacity to post a video doubling down on what he said.
What I said, 10 toes down.
And then the next day, he quietly
doubling down. Ooh. Let's continue watching because I'm a little bit grossed out. I'm so grossed out, actually.
deletes both of those videos, crawls into his bed, and posts a sniveling, fake apology video, the same spineless theater he performs every single time his mask slips. It is sickening, and I cannot believe that people still fall for this. This is the same creature that publicly complained about the pavement designed to prevent blind people from walking into traffic.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
This is the same creature who invited the individual who almost unalived his friend to his home to sleep with him. James, I am so glad that you posted that video because it exposes that you don't just lack empathy. You are viciously and pathologically allergic to it. You use your fame and your power to abuse and take advantage of children, which is not a character flaw, by the way. That is a moral deformity so profound, it should have disqualified you from public life years ago. And after all of that, you had the audacity to scream at the camera, practically foaming from your mouth with pure vile hatred for this individual who in her most desperate moment dared ask you for help. James is a narcissist, and because of that, he would never be able to truly empathize with someone who just lost their job because he's never lost his job. But you guys have the power to give him that experience. You can unfollow him, you can block him, you can never engage with another video, never buy one of his products, and he will lose everything. And then he will finally understand what it's like for this woman that he just publicly humiliated.
Wow, that was very insightful. It's so, I don't even know how to begin. Again, the Bye Sister saga that happened back in 2021, I do believe that's when it all went down. It was possibly one of the most groundbreaking moments in beauty guru history. It was when, well, besides Bye Sister, there was a whole like Dramageddon one where Jeffree Star was also involved somehow. And then Dramageddon 2, which includes Bye Sister. It literally shattered the facade that these beauty influencers created and tried to portray online. So it's so heartbreaking. Unfortunately, I don't think that James Charles will ever lose the sense of power that he has, mainly because this man has been able to continue to do all of this for so long and hasn't done, that we know of, anything physically inappropriate, as in actually flying someone out, as that we know of. And to add on to that, there's this continuing belief that men and boys cannot be victims, which is just another byproduct of the patriarchy. And I don't think I've talked about this. Back when the whole, what's her name? That lady from the Bachelorette, that her season got canceled. When that came out, and I saw a lot of people having very explicit, and I won't say nice things to say about the guy and his experience with her, it reinforced the idea that people really don't think that men can be victims, and it breaks my heart that we are still having to deal with this unlearning of misogyny, because whether we like it or not, again, the patriarchy reinforces the notion that men cannot suffer from any sort of brutality against them, and it's dumb. It's dumb. Because anybody can be the perpetrator and anybody can be the victim in situations like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't like to touch on this topic because it involves children. And I also dealt with this sort of situation of like random men, well, I was also 16, by the way, DMing me and asking me to hang out. What was that about? Like, oh my gosh, you don't look your age. I know I do. What are you talking about? Like, what? Terrified because in this age of social media, in the age of artificial intelligence, in the age of like influencer de-influencing movement is happening at this moment, I am a little bit scared because I don't know how this is all going to transcend, how it's all going to be fixed. But I am hopeful that we're going to start to slowly lose interest in people that do tend to say stuff as crazy as that, and then, back down when they receive backlash because they never, stop to think before posting. And I think that's a mindful reminder for everybody. Think before you post. Don't just, get it all out there, because we are all human. We all want to say something, but it can get misconstrued on the way there. That's how I'm going to end this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next week.